Hannah Santos had always believed her town was too small for dreams. It wasn't that she hated it, the place had its charms. The river that curved like a quiet smile through the center of town. The acacia tree that shaded the school courtyard. The wooden bridge that trembled under the weight of anyone who crossed it. The sari stores that smelled of warm bread and detergent. The neighbors who knew everyone's business before breakfast. But small towns had a way of shrinking you if you weren't careful, and for a long time, Hannah had been shrinking. It started with a boy, the kind of boy who made promises he didn't know how to keep. The kind of boy who said forever like it was a hobby. The kind of boy who held her hand under the bleachers and whispered things that felt like truth until they didn't. When he left her, he didn't break her heart loudly, he broke it quietly, with distance, with silence, with the slow fading of messages that once came every night. Hannah didn't cry in public, she didn't scream, she didn't beg, she simply folded into herself, like paper creasing under pressure. For weeks, she walked through school like a ghost. She sat in class but didn't hear the lessons. She ate lunch but didn't taste the food. She crossed the trembling bridge every day, but she didn't feel the wind or the sun or the river beneath her. She felt nothing, until the day she met Mateo Reyes. He wasn't new, he wasn't mysterious, he wasn't the kind of boy who made girls swoon. He was quiet, steady, thoughtful. He sat behind her in class, always sketching in the margins of his notebook. He walked home the same route she did, though he always kept a respectful distance. He wasn't the type to insert himself into someone's sadness, but one afternoon, as Hannah sat alone under the acacia tree, trying not to cry, Mateo approached her with a sketchbook tucked under his arm. "You look like you need air," he said gently. She blinked. "I'm fine." "You don't have to be," he replied. She didn't know why, but the words cracked something open inside her. He sat beside her, not too close, not too far, and opened his sketchbook. On the page was a drawing of the riverbank. The grass. The water. The sky. And her. Not crying, not broken, just sitting, quiet, thoughtful, human. "You drew me." She whispered. "You looked peaceful," he said. "Even if you didn't feel it." She didn't know what to say. No one had ever seen her like that before, not even the boy who broke her heart. From that day on, Mateo walked with her after school. They didn't talk much at first. Sometimes silence was enough. Sometimes silence was healing. One afternoon, as they reached the wooden bridge, Hannah stopped. "Do you ever feel like this bridge is going to collapse?" she asked. Mateo smiled. "It trembles. But it holds." Hannah looked down at the water. "I feel like I'm trembling." "Then hold on," he said softly. "You'll steady." She didn't believe him then, but she wanted to. Healing didn't happen all at once, it happened in small, quiet ways. In the mornings when Hannah woke up and didn't feel heavy, in the afternoons when she laughed at something Mateo said, in the evenings when she wrote in her notebook, not about heartbreak, but about hope. Writing had always been her secret, her refuge, her way of making sense of the world. But she had never shared it with anyone. Until her English teacher announced a regional writing competition. "The theme is, 'The Place That Changed Me,'" the teacher said. "I encourage all of you to join." Hannah felt her heart skip. The place that changed her. She knew exactly what that was: the bridge, the river, the journey across it, literal and emotional. But writing meant opening herself, writing meant remembering, writing meant telling the truth. After class, she lingered by her desk, staring at the announcement sheet. Mateo approached quietly. "You're thinking hard," he said. it's a writing competition, she replied. Theme is, the place that changed me, Matteo smiled softly. You should join. I don't know. You do know, he said gently. You're just scared. She looked at him, surprised by the accuracy of his words. Maybe. You have something to say, he continued. And people need to hear it. Hannah swallowed. What if it's too personal? Then it will be powerful, he said. And honest. And real. She looked down at the paper again. She took a slow breath. Okay. I'll try. Matteo's smile widened. Good. That night, Hannah sat at her small wooden desk, the electric fan humming softly beside her. She opened her notebook, stared at the blank page, and felt her heart beat faster. She wasn't writing for a grade, she wasn't writing for approval, she wasn't writing for anyone else, she was writing for herself. She placed her pen on the page and began. There is a bridge in my town that trembles when you walk across it. The words flowed slowly at first, then faster, like a river finding its path. She wrote about the girl she had been, hopeful, fragile, afraid. She wrote about the love that had lifted her and the heartbreak that had broken her. She wrote about the nights she cried quietly, the mornings she forced herself to rise, the days she learned to breathe again. She wrote about the bridge, how it shook beneath her feet, how it carried her through storms, how it stood even when she didn't think she could. She wrote about healing. She wrote about choosing herself. She wrote about becoming. When she finished, her hand ached, her eyes stung, and her heart felt strangely light. She read the piece again, tears slipping down her cheeks, not from sadness, but from recognition. She had told the truth, her truth, and it was enough. The next morning, she handed the piece to her teacher. Her hands trembled slightly, but her voice was steady. Here, she said. My entry. Her teacher read the first few lines, then looked up, eyes soft. Hannah. This is beautiful. Hannah felt warmth bloom in her chest. Thank you. You have a gift, her teacher said. Don't hide it. Hannah nodded, feeling something inside her shift, quietly, gently, powerfully. A week later, the results arrived. Hannah won, first place, regional level. Her piece, her truth, had been chosen. The school celebrated her. Her mother cried. Her classmates whispered her name with admiration. But the moment that stayed with her most was when Matteo found her under the acacia tree. You did it, he said, breathless with pride. We did it, she replied. You believed in me. He shook his head. You believed in yourself. I just reminded you. She felt her heart swell, not with the dizzying rush of first love, but with something deeper. Something steadier. Something real. Winning the competition opened a door Hannah never expected. A letter arrived from Manila. You are invited to the National Young Writers Summit, 3 days of workshops, mentorship, and presentations, all expenses covered. Hannah stared at the letter, her breath catching. Manila, a writers' summit, mentorship, a world she had never imagined stepping into. Her mother hugged her tightly. This is a blessing. Matteo smiled softly. You're ready. Hannah wasn't sure she believed that, but she wanted to. The summit changed everything. Manila was loud, bright, overwhelming, but also alive in a way Hannah had never felt before. The workshops challenged her. The mentors inspired her. The other young writers made her feel seen in a way she didn't know she needed. She read her work on stage, she cried, people clapped, people connected, people understood. For the first time, she felt like she belonged somewhere bigger than her town. When she returned home, she wasn't the same girl who had left. She was more confident, more grounded, more certain of her voice, and the world noticed. A month later, another letter arrived. Congratulations, you have been awarded the National Young Writers Scholarship, 1 year of mentorship in Manila, full academic support, we believe in your voice. Hannah stared at the letter, her heart pounding. She had been chosen, again, not by a boy, not by chance, but by her own work, her own voice, her own becoming. Her mother cried, her teachers celebrated. Her classmates whispered, and Mateo hugged her tightly, his voice soft. I'm proud of you. She buried her face in his shoulder. I'm scared. I know. What if I'm not ready? You are. What if things change? They will, he said gently. But that's okay. She pulled back, looking into his eyes. Mateo. I don't want to lose us. You won't, he said. We'll grow. Together. Even if we're apart. She wanted to believe him, she did, but something inside her whispered that growth had a way of reshaping everything. The month before she left for Manila was a blur of preparations, packing, paperwork, goodbyes, quiet moments under the acacia tree, walks along the riverbank, crossing the trembling bridge again and again, but beneath the excitement, something else was happening. Hannah was changing, and so was Mateo. He had always loved drawing, but now he was taking it seriously, sketching buildings, bridges, landscapes. He talked about architecture school, about engineering, about building things that lasted. You're going to be great, Hannah told him. So are you, he replied, but sometimes, when they walked home together, their conversations felt different, not strained, not distant. Just shifting, like two rivers beginning to curve in different directions. The night before she left, they met at the bridge. The moon reflected on the water, the planks trembled beneath their feet, the air smelled of warm earth and river wind. Hannah rested her hands on the railing. I'm leaving tomorrow. I know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't either. She looked at him. Are we going to be okay? Mateo took a slow breath. Hannah. I don't want to hold you back. You're not. I don't want you to stay small just to stay close. Her throat tightened. I wouldn't. I know, he said. But I also know you're meant for something big. And I'm meant for something too. She felt tears gather in her eyes. Are you saying goodbye? No, he said softly. I'm saying. Grow. And I'll grow too. And wherever we end up, we'll be grateful we knew each other. She swallowed hard. I don't want to lose you. You won't, he said. You'll carry me. And I'll carry you. Just. Not the same way. She leaned her head on his shoulder, he rested his hand on hers. They didn't kiss, they didn't promise forever, they didn't pretend, they simply stood together on the trembling bridge, knowing it was the last time they'd stand there as the versions of themselves who fit perfectly. Manila changed Hannah in ways she couldn't have predicted. The city was loud, fast, overwhelming, but it was also alive. Alive with opportunity. Alive with stories, alive with possibility. Her writing flourished, her mentors pushed her, her classmates inspired her, her world expanded. She wrote late into the night, she attended workshops, she read her work on stages, she published her first piece in a youth literary magazine. People began to know her name, and slowly, gently, naturally, her messages to Matteo became less frequent, not because she didn't care, but because life was happening, to both of them. Matteo was thriving too. He joined an architecture club, he won a local design competition, he started apprenticing with a local builder, he talked about applying to a university in Cebu. Their conversations shifted from daily updates to weekly check-ins, then to monthly messages, then to quiet, warm, occasional notes that said, "I'm proud of you. I'm cheering for you. I hope you're doing well." No anger, no resentment, no heartbreak, just growth, just life, just two people becoming who they were meant to be. A year later, when Hannah returned home for a short visit, she found Matteo at the riverbank, sketching a new design, a modern bridge, inspired by the old one. "It's beautiful," she said. He smiled. "So are your stories." They sat together, not touching, not reaching, just existing in the same space. "I missed this," Hannah said. "Me too. But we're different now. We are. And that's okay." "It is." She looked at him, really looked, and saw not the boy who once held her hand, but the man he was becoming, and she knew he saw her the same way. They didn't say goodbye, they didn't make promises, they didn't try to reclaim something that belonged to a different version of themselves. They simply smiled at each other, grateful, grateful for the bridge that once carried them, grateful for the dreams that now carried them apart. Grateful for the love that didn't end, it evolved. Years later, people would ask Hannah where her writing began. She would smile and say, "On a trembling bridge in a small town, where I learned that shaking doesn't mean breaking, it means becoming." And when people asked if she ever regretted letting go of her first love, she would shake her head gently. "We didn't lose each other," she'd say, "we grew." And sometimes growing means walking different paths. And somewhere in another city, designing buildings that touched the sky, Matteo would smile when he thought of her, not with longing, not with sadness, but with gratitude, because some people don't stay forever, some people stay long enough to change you, to steady you, to help you cross the trembling bridge, and then, you carry them with you, always.